Good evening, guys. Here we are for another day of McKelvey's Daily Bible, and today we are doing Genesis chapter 15, 16, and 17. So, we left off from, with Abram. So now, sometime later, the Lord spoke to Abram in a vision, and said to him, "Do not be afraid, Abram, for I will protect you, and your reward will be great." But Abram replied, "O sovereign Lord, what good are all your blessings when I don't even have a son? Since you've given me no children, Eliezer of Damascus, a servant in my household, will inherit all my wealth. You have given me no descendants of my own, so one of my servants will be my heir." The Lord said to him, "No, your servant will not be your heir, for you will have a son of your own whom will be your heir." Then the Lord took Abram outside and said to him, "Look up at the sky and count the stars if you can. That's how many descendants you will have." And Abram believed in the Lord, and the Lord counted him as righteous because of his faith. And the Lord said to him, "I am the Lord, who brought you out of the Chaldeans to give you this land as your possession." But Abram replied, "O sovereign Lord, how can I be sure that I will actually possess it?" The Lord told him, "Bring me a 3-year-old heifer, cow, a 3-year-old female goat, a 3-year-old ram, a turtle dove, and a young pigeon." So Abram presented all these to him and killed them. Then he cut each animal down the middle and laid the halves side by side. He did not, however, cut the birds in half. Some vultures swooped down to eat the carcasses, but Abram chased them away. As the sun was going down, Abram fell into a deep sleep, and a terrifying darkness came down over him. Then the Lord said to Abram, "You could be sure that your descendants will be strangers in a foreign land, where they will be oppressed as slaves for 400 years. So right now he's telling Abram what's going to happen. So he's telling him a prophecy. Okay, a prophecy is something that foretells the future. Okay, so he's telling them that I'm going to give you a bunch of descendants, but your descendants are going to be oppressed and as slaves for 400 years. But I will punish the nation that enslaves them. And in the end, they will come away with great wealth. As for you," they, as in his descendants, "as for you, you will die in peace and be buried in a ripe old age." That's something that, everybody wants to hear, I want to die in a ripe old age, full life, experience a bunch, "After 4 generations, your descendants will return here to this land, for the sins of the Amorites do not yet warrant their destruction." After the sun went down and darkness fell, Abram saw a smoking firepot and a flaming torch pass between the halves of the carcasses. So the Lord made a covenant with Abram that day and said, "I have given this land to your descendants, all the way from the border of Egypt to the great Euphrates River, the land now occupied by the Kenites, the Kenizzites, the Kendomanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Rephaites, Amorites, Canaanites, Gershonites, and Jebusites." Chapter 16.
Yeah, that sounds fast.
Right? What?
So the things that you were saying,
That last part?
yeah,
Those were people, like,
yeah,
we're Americans.
yeah,
They were
all of
those.
them ended at the same thing.
The sites. Yes.
Edomites.
Yeah, yep. Alright, now, chapter 16. Now, Sarai, Abram's wife, had not been able to bear children for him, but she had an Egyptian servant named Hagar. So Sarai said to Abram, "The Lord has prevented me from having children. Go and sleep with my servant. Perhaps I can have children through her." Okay, so Abram's wife is giving Abram permission to go and have a child with their servant, which is not right at all, but Sarai is not having enough faith in God. When God says you are going to have children, well, anyways, she's putting all this faith into having a child through Hagar. Okay? And because of that, Abram agreed with Sarai's proposal. So Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, the Egyptian servant, and gave her to Abram as a wife. This happened 10 years after Abram had settled in the land of Canaan. So Abram had sexual relations with Hagar, and she became pregnant. But when Hagar knew she was pregnant, she began to treat her mistress, Sarai, with contempt. Then Sarai said to Abram, "This is all your fault. I put my servant into your arms, but now she's pregnant and treats me with contempt. The Lord will now show who's wrong, you or me." Abram replied, "Look, she is your servant, so deal with her as you see fit." Then Sarai treated Hagar so harshly that she finally ran away. The angel of the Lord found Hagar beside a spring of water in the wilderness, along the road to Shur. The angel said to her, "Hagar, Sarah's servant, where have you come from, and where are you going?" "I'm running away from my mistress Sarai," she replied. The angel of the Lord said to her, "Return to your mistress and submit to her authority." Then he added, "I will give you more descendants than you can count." And the angel said also, "You are now pregnant and will give birth to a son. You are to name him Ishmael," which means God hears. "For the Lord has heard your cry of distress. This son of yours will be a wild man, as untamed as a wild donkey. He will raise his fist against anyone and everyone who will be against him. Yes, he will live in open hostility against all of his relatives." And thereafter, Hagar used another name to refer to the Lord who had spoken to her. She said, "You are the God who sees me." She also said, "Have I truly seen the one who sees me?" So that well was named Ber-Laoa Roi, which means well of the living one who sees me. It can still be found between Kadesh and Bered. So Hagar gave Abram a son, and Abram named him Ishmael. Abram was 86 years old when Ishmael was born. Chapter 17. When Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to him and said, "I am El Shaddai, God Almighty. Serve me faithfully and live a blameless life. I will make a covenant with you, by which I will guarantee to give you countless descendants." At this, Abram fell down on the face of the ground, and God said to him, "This is my covenant with you. I will make you the father of multitude of nations. What's more, I'm changing your name. It will no longer be Abram. Instead, you will be called Abraham. For you will be the father of many nations. I will make you extremely fruitful. Your descendants will become many nations, and kings will become of them. I will confirm my covenant with you and your descendants after you from generation to generation. This is the everlasting covenant. I will always be your God and the God of your descendants after you. And I will give the entire land of Canaan, where you now live as a foreigner, to you and your descendants. It will be their possession forever, and I will be their God." And God said to Abraham, "Your responsibility is to obey the terms of the covenant. You and all your descendants have this continual responsibility. This is the covenant that you and your descendants must keep. Each male among you must be circumcised. Which circumcised is when you're a baby, the head of the penis, and there's extra skin that gets clipped off, and that is a covenant that God has made with Abraham with this. And since then, throughout generations, people have continued that as well. At the same time, it's also easier to clean your area that way as well. There's also other scientific things of whether you can or cannot do it, and it's not a wrong or right thing. There's many people still now that is circumcised or uncircumcised, and it doesn't matter. Okay, so we're just going to put that aside. But this now, what we're talking about is the covenant between God and Abraham. Okay, so you must cut off the flesh of your foreskin as a sign of the covenant between me and you, from generation to generation. Now, see, this is the messed up part, though. Dude's 99 years old. Got to get this done. I don't even know if they have anesthetic to deal with the pain and all. It's easier when you're a baby. Okay, you don't remember having that done. It's done. It's over with. You grow up. It's normal. Dude was 99 years old, having to have that done.
He's about to be 100.
Okay, so from generation to generation, every male child must be circumcised on the 8th day after his birth. This applies not only to members of your family, but also to the servants born in your household, and the foreign-born servants whom you have purchased. All must be circumcised. Your bodies will bear the mark of my everlasting covenant. Any male who fails to be circumcised will be cut off from the covenant family for breaking the covenant. Okay? So it's basically like, it's showing that you are promising yourself to God that you are following His rules, you know. I mean, in all aspects, God doesn't need you to be like that. It's the fact that He's asking you to do this, to follow a covenant, follow a promise kind of thing, you know, like a handshake or whatever. But this is also back in old times before times have changed, and, you know, there's later on we'll see instead of a handshake of making a deal, something about you put your hand underneath the person's thigh, and then there was also something about exchanging a shoe, something like that. But like I said, we'll get to this later. This is how it shows how humans have progressed throughout time. What?
The Ervin come on?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't remember where it was. Okay. So then God said to Abraham, regarding Sarai, your wife, her name will no longer be Sarai. From now on, her name will be Sarah. And I will bless her and give... Listen. Her name will be Sarah, and I will bless her and give you a son from her. Yes, I will bless her richly, and she will become the mother of many nations. Kings of nations will be among her descendants. Then Abraham bowed down to the ground, but he laughed to himself in disbelief. Okay. How could I become a father at the age of 100? He thought. And how can Sarah have a baby when she's 99 years old? So Abraham said to God, may Ishmael live under your special blessing. But God replied, no, Sarah, your wife, will give birth to a son for you. You will name him Isaac. And I will confirm my covenant with him and his descendants as an everlasting covenant. As for Ishmael, I will bless him also, just as you have asked. I will make him extremely fruitful and multiply his descendants. He will become the father of 12 princes, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will be confirmed with Isaac, who you will be born to, and Sarah about this time next year. When God had finished speaking, he left Abraham. On that very day, Abraham took his son Ishmael and every male in his household, including those born there and those who he had bought. Then he circumcised them, cutting out their foreskins just as God had told him. Abraham was 99 years old when he was circumcised, and Ishmael, his son, was 13. Both Abraham and his son Ishmael were circumcised on the same day, along with all the other men and boys of the household, whether they were born there or bought as servants. All were circumcised with him. And that is the end of today's reading. Hello! Put your 2 cents in too.
Special guest.
Yeah,
It's on yesterday.
this is our new guest of the day.
Yeah,
Alright.
guess of the day.
Alright, we gotta put you down.
Yeah, guess of the one.
Alright, any questions, guys?
Nope. No.
Alright.
I got one.
What's up?
Colin can do his first.
I love the name Isaac.
Okay, but any questions?
My question. There. My question is whenever you were like talking about like how he was gonna have how he had what's his name?
Abraham?
Ishmael.
No. Oh yes, Ishmael.
What's with the...
I do that all the time for some reason.
I love you.
My friend
Okay.
got me to do it.
Yeah, about Ishmael.
Sorry. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. What about him?
Oh, that.
Whenever they said he was 99, and God told him all his son about that, it said that he was 100, but was it his birthday that
Honey,
time? 'Cause it just said
Abraham
he
was 99. Ishmael was 13.
I know, but he said like, how can his wife be 99 and have a child, and how can he have be the father of that child whenever he's 100? It said that he was 100.
That's God. Oh, well, he was exaggerating. He was probably almost 100.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, either way, they were questioning it. They're old people, and they're like, how are we going to have kids? We're
Wisdom.
old, you know. But that was the whole point, is having faith in God. Okay? So that's what they were trying to get at. All right.
Okay.
All right. You guys have a wonderful night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.